Yo, what up guys, dinner time here, and you're watching my first impressions of Ahri, the nine-tailed fox. Ahri has a nice ability skill set which synergizes fairly well. Let's talk about her Q. Ahri's Q is a skill shot nuke. You send it out and it returns to you, dealing damage on the way out and true damage on the way back. This is fairly decent. It doesn't scale great though. If Riot bumped it up just a little bit, I reckon it'd be perfect. One other problem I have with Ahri's Q is when you send it out, it pauses at the end of the cast for just a little tiny second. But this can really spell doom for you if you're trying to get it back and do your damage quickly. So I think they should speed up the projectile speed just a little bit. Other than that, Ahri's Q is very nice and does some very good AoE damage with a decent cooldown in teamfights. Ahri's W is Foxfire. Activating his ability will give you 3 flames that surround you. When going near a hostile enemy, they'll fire off at those enemies. If you're near a champion, they will almost definitely all hit the champion. This does good damage. It's her best ability in my opinion. There's nothing wrong with it. A little note is that all these flames fire off extremely quickly, so you want to activate it when you're right next to the person you want to hit. I tend to get this ability at level 2 and level it up second. Ahri's E is Charm. This is a skill shot nuke. Hitting your target with this will cause them to walk towards you helplessly. This is for about 1 second at first rank and 2 seconds at end rank. This can be extremely useful when chasing someone. However, using this when you are being chased is probably not the best idea. I think it needs a little bit more ability power ratios because its damage is very low, but it can be invaluable when chasing. So this is just the big tick for when you're chasing. It's also her only CC, but it's a good one. Coupled with Rylai's, this can really work well. This is the ability I level up last. I usually take a point in this at level 4. Ahri's ultimate is perfect. It synergizes very well with all her abilities and turns her into a slippery champion. Using this ability will cause Ahri to dash towards your cursor. This will also send out 3 fireballs surrounding targets. These do very good damage and really help out with your AoE and team fights. This also is so good for getting away and chasing. It also synergizes perfectly with your W. This ability does not need to be changed at all. Perfect job on this one. Let's talk quickly about Ahri's passive. Ahri's passive is a buff on you. Whenever you hit a target with a spell, you will get one of these buffs. Each spell can get a maximum of 3 buffs per activation. So if you use your orb and hit a full minion wave, the maximum stacks you can get from it is 3. After you hit 9, the next one of Ahri's spells does 35% spell vamp. That's a lot of spell vamp and can really help you stay in lane and sustain you. Let's quickly talk pros and cons of Ahri. In early game she is very susceptible to harass and is kinda squishy, so you're gonna need to be building health on her very early. However, she does some crazy burst damage early on, and that more than makes up for it. Endgame, you could say she sort of falls off. All her abilities don't scale extremely well with ability power, so she turns into more of a squishy assassin. You have to be going for those carries, and you're going to have trouble taking down other brawlers. However, she does very well at assassinating. Overall, you will have a fairly rough start game if you're versing an extremely aggressive opponent, but if they're kind of passive, someone like a Viger, you can harass them down and dominate your lane. Early kills will definitely help Ahri. She needs to snowball, and if you don't farm on her, she's going to have a very hard time. So, farming and kills early on is very important. The most difficult thing to learn about Ahri is how to use your Q. You're going to need to master this ability if you want to have any hope at all at surviving in lane. The only lane I would recommend putting Ahri in is middle or maybe solo top. Her bread and butter is definitely her ultimate. It's extremely difficult to land your W without it, so you definitely need to be in a solo lane. For items on Ahri, I've been going some quick health. I pick up a Doran's Ring to start, and then I rush her allies, making sure to get this as early as possible, because this will give you some great CC and that much needed health. Since you're going to be in close, this health is very needed, so try and get this as early as possible. For boots, you can either pick up Mercury Treads or Saw Shoes. After that, I generally pick up Morella's Evil Tome for the cooldown reduction and ability power, And then I pick up my Rabadon's Death Cap. If the enemy is in range with your Q, chuck that out, making sure to get both hits on. The true damage is really where the damage comes in. Then, if your ultimate is up, dash in, land all 3 charges of your Foxfire, that's your W, then chase with your ultimate and hopefully get another orb in if it comes up. If they're running away, that's when you use your E. In team fights, all of Ahri's abilities are pretty much AoE, so popping their ultimate will just devastate enemies. This is excellent, but make sure you're going for that squishy when you can. All up, I believe Ahri is a decent choice for mid and has some nice harass and mechanics. I believe that she needs to have a bit higher ability power ratios though, as they're a bit low at the moment. She doesn't bring as much CC to the table as other characters, but her E is still nice for catching those people who are running away. If Riot ups those ratios, then I believe Ahri could be a very effective mage assassin. I've had a ton of fun with Ahri, so if you're looking to buy a fun champ, and you've got the IP to spare, then go for it. If you're looking for a ranked champ, I'd definitely wait until Free Week though, and see what Riot does with their ratios. I'm still learning Ahri as well, and will most likely post another vid on her, detailing all of the builds, runes, and masteries that I use on her. If you guys have any build ideas and have worked great for you, make sure you drop it in the comments. I'd love to try it out. Thanks for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and chuck this on favorites. Thanks.